Hi, and welcome back to me playing Oxygen Not Included on hard mode. Duping twice the amount of calories, getting stressed out, don't deal well with radiation. So in the last episode, I've made a slate wheat farm. I'm still waiting for it to cool down before it's actually going to grow anything, but all the infrastructure and seed is in place. So I'm going to start off. I've been starting to charge this rocket here. I'm going to complete these two rockets. These two rockets are both empty inside. We'll start over here with putting gas pipes through, some water pipes through, and then a place for storage, and then a place to sleep, and go from there. It's just about half done this rocket here. We're going to work on the upstairs area of this rocket. So what do I have planned for this episode? I'm going to finish off all these rockets first of all. So this one will be eventually completed, and this one, which is blank, will also be completed. So I'll have 4 Radbolt rockets with very good living condition inside, the ability to produce oxygen, store all the food that I want. And then I'm going to have some dupes start exploring space. So they've got those modules that they can look and find out what are all these question marks, and see where I might eventually want to actually land and explore going forward. The other thing is that there's going to be dupes home while all this exploring is going to happen, and I haven't done much in terms of upgrading. I want a bedroom. The washroom is decent, but I think that could be a little bit better. Certainly decoration level is just not great. So we're going to up that a little bit to essentially do some renovations around the base. But before I get to that, let's finish off these 2 rockets. So this rocket here had a flooring that was just above the rocket control, so I'm just going to bring this up just to match the design of the other rockets that I'm going to have, so they're all consistent. The door here, gold tile there. That's where oxygen is vented. 2 cots. Can have a bin for storing algae and a battery. And then I also put a rover module on that. I think I'm going to get that to be dropped off on Dampito. So this rocket is the one that's having the insides being changed. This rocket is up to code, except for the fact it doesn't have a storage bin. I think that was the one that Miner took back in last episode, but I want to have a storage bin to make sure algae is always topped up. They're just adding some decoration. Also figure an orbital data collection for the meantime while I still need to do research. Will be nice while they're traveling. Maybe I'll put an orbital data module over here as well. Oh, actually just realized that I probably didn't want to put that there. Probably want to change that because I had planned to have the vent go out here, so that's too tall for the orbital module. So put that right there. If this dupe can take care of that bed, put the cot over there. So just before I go and make some renovations to the base, I've realized that I don't have any Radbolts going into this area. So I think that's the next focus after I send a rocket out. Actually, I think I might as well get this rocket ready to be sent out. I'll send Explorer. I'll get them so it's packed up with some food. So we've got that. Just make sure that algae gets in here. A little bit of plastic if I want to run this. And I'll send Explorer out with a rover module. So having this changed here, so realizing that I had that made out of gold amalgam, and that was just about to melt. So I'm going to switch that to steel. And the same thing with the mesh tiles, also made of gold amalgam. Now, that's fine normally, except for the fact that it's next to these rockets, and anything that's next to these rockets are going to take on a lot of heat. I'm questioning whether to even bother making this out of mesh tile. The only reason I had that as mesh tile, so I could put solar panels underneath, but I'm probably not going to do that, so I might even move to changing that to some obsidian right there. In this rocket, just made sure that, okay, there it is. I've got some plastic as well as algae. Switch this back to organic algae. So we always know that we've got 2 tons worth anytime I want to take off. It's already inside the rock at the moment, so I'm happy to take off. So that is, hold on, let's wait for that to change over first before we get out of here. Notice the interplanetary launcher from the other world is depositing some things there. Gotta make a fix to that. I'll worry about that later. Here's Explorer going into the rocket. You don't need to have your suit on for that. So Explorer's going to go in here. I need to change their set the location. Tell them to go to the Dempito, where I can get that rover to land. So change this to go to the edge of Dempito. You can now begin your launch sequence. Now that extreme heat, so we're getting about 2,900 for a second. Over here we're getting temperatures of 2,000 or so, so we have to account for that. That's why I switched. I've got some obsidian and some steel. We'll see how that lasts as time goes on. So that is going to take 2.1 cycles before it gets there. The other rocket over here, is this ready to go? Send another dupe over. So let's do the same thing. Let's put in some plastic, some algae, and then I'll be able to take off on this with one dupe on this mission to explore a different part of the universe. So plastic, 0.5 ton. So this rocket here has an orbital cargo module because I want to find another world and just throw that on it. I'm going to have Miner as the pilot here. And they're going to go see if they can find another asteroid. We'll start here and see if that is anything. Okay, this is an exciting moment. I see that Explorer is on the edge here. They can deploy a module. We'll put that down here, and this is going to keep us busy for a bit. I'm sure now, a couple things, so we'll wait for this to land. Okay. We'll just go back a second, tell this rocket. They're not going to want to go home because they have the telescope on board, but I want to make sure that they're able to get home. So I want to make sure that right now they have 15 tiles left, so they can explore quite a bit. I'll go out to here. 315. If I do that, let me just see. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we'll be fine. If we go over there, just don't want to leave my dupe stranded. So that is on the way. Okay, lots happening right now. This dupe is about to leave. Are they on board now? No, they're not. I want to catch them going up the ladder. There's Miner there. Okay, perfect. I want to catch them going up the ladder and tell them take off their suit because I don't want them. Now you can begin the launch sequence, of course, when you're on board. Now let's double check here. We have algae, we have food, you're fine. Let's now go to Dampito. I'm just watching this land. Let's do a little bit of digging. Now this world, I don't have a deposit yet of lead, so I can't make a rocket platform. But if I were to deposit lead anyway, it's just going to land down in this ocean. I think it makes more sense just to build a ladder way down. Destroy the rover module. So we'll just use a little bit of sandstone here just to build a gigantic ladder going down on that asteroid. So that'll keep the rover busy for a while. Let's have a look. The other now, we've got this dupe here. How are they? Let's check these two dupes, make sure they're doing well. This is Miner. You're going to make data banks when you're bored. Don't have anything to do. Same thing here, Explorer. We'll see what these two question marks are, and we'll see if there's anything in this general area. Okay, now that, let's look at here. I lost my sleet wheat. So I planned that, I can't remember what temperature I planted that, but it was way too warm. I should have waited for this system to get colder before I do. But now it is 4.2 degrees here, 6 degrees, still too warm over here, but we can start planting the sleet wheat. I think we'll be fine to plant it all. So I made sure that I had that taken off the rocket before those two rockets left. We'll plant that there. We'll start growing our sleet wheat soon enough. So during the various launches of these Rebel rockets, I've noticed that they produce heat 5 tiles underneath. So I want to create a ceiling here, and I'm going to give an extra tile, so I'll actually give it 6 tiles. Make this out of igneous rock for the protection from radiation. That is 6. Yeah, so this is going to be a ceiling for a new area that I'm building. And this is going to contain the material study terminal and the diamond press over here. And I'm doing that in this location because I want to be close to here. Take the red bolts as soon as I can. So I'll put an entry to the red bolts into this room right there. So hydrogen has been building up, and that's probably this thing's fault. Actually, I currently disabled that. Maybe I should decide whether I want to re-enable it or not. So I'll be burning hydrogen. Again, I disabled this. So what I'm going to have to do is watch this, because once I enable this, it's showing that I'll get an excess amount in hydrogen. And I'm storing these in these gas reserves, but I want to get rid of these, or at least relocate them. So I want to build some stuff in this area. Perhaps actually it would make sense to have the hydrogen generators higher up. So that's something I can do. I was thinking about leaking this out into space, but where I don't have this running at the moment, maybe that'll just go down by itself. So that's something I'm going to watch. So yeah, sleet wheat over here on this side, because this is the cooling is going in on here. I would expect that this is going to be a little bit cooler in time. I think I definitely expect they'll all go down in temperature to the point that they're going to be happy and growing. So at least some of the sleet wheat is growing, unlike before. Check on the dupes. They're flying around. Going to find out what's around there, if anything, and find out what these question marks are. Let's check on the lots of things to check out now. So rover is reached this little spot here. This is a water geyser, and want to make it easy for them. If they dig out some material, they'll have to stop going up, grabbing some sandstone from up here, so they can actually mine this out first. I'll have to grab some more sandstone, but they'll do that and then continue down. I think tell them it's more important to mine that out before they go down. Otherwise, they'll continue the process of just getting sandstone from up there. And we'll keep going down and down and down. Maybe I'll repeat the same pattern here. Let's build a ladder going over, get out more sandstone, and then keep digging down. So there's a saltwater geyser, there's the regular water geyser. They're both going to be overpressured soon. Well, let's watch this, just because it's fun. Water flowing in. So maybe this thing, if it acted quick, it could output some water. But no, it's too late. Which is completely fine. Alright. Oh, more sleet wheat is looking in the growing state. That's good. Explorer has found a question mark. So I need to always make sure that I've got enough to get back home. So technically I just need to get to the border. But yeah, definitely have enough. Let's go over and have a look at what that question mark is. This dupe over here is good. Oh, this perfect timing. Oh, they discovered a demolished rocket. Fun. Let's go over and find out what that object is. And then in what Dampito. So I'm just been getting more this material, sandstone dug out. And as long as there's enough here, maybe you don't need this. What I'm essentially trying to do, avoid the robot from having to go back up to here to get sandstone. Then they're going to come over here and get all this sandstone. And they'll be able to continue digging down. Oh, there's some sandstone right there that's fallen. But I want to make sure that they dig this out at higher priority to stop the robot from going up and down the ladder. Let's look at their power. 143 of 180. There's still lots of work that they can get done for us. And the dupes over here are starting to construct this room. And it's just 2 sleet wheat that we're currently waiting for to get cold enough. Explorer is just seconds from arriving. We're going to find out what this question is. Oh, we found a new Tostini. Sounds like it's going to be a warm asteroid. Let's see. Yeah, it is, in fact, very, very warm. 1500 or so degrees. I don't even know if a rover would make sense putting down there. Anyway, that... Oops, we'll get to that one later. Do I have an ability to find out what this one is? I don't think so, but... So I've got 11 tiles. And I need 8 of 11. If I spend 4, that's going to leave me with 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not enough, unfortunately. Let's go home, recharge. Now this dupe, this is who is miners in this one. They're going to be arriving here, and we're going to find out what this is. Unknown object. Oh, another asteroid. Meteoroti. Very lucky with that. Now, this one, I am more interested in visiting a little bit sooner than the other ones. Because of the critter. I really want to get my hands on a shovel. But there's multiple phases to this. But the first phase is sending some material. I already have that. Let's deploy that. We even watched that Meteoritio. It's landing on various spots. And now what I'd love to do is come back here with a rover and we'll actually make, or at least get as much as we can, a rocket platform together. Okay, now this dupe still can explore. How much? They've got 15 tiles. Do I go up? Do I go down? Is the question. I'll leave this this rocket for exploring around there. How about we go up here? If I go here, if I 15, that should be enough. That definitely should be enough. Cause I'll have 10 tiles. Let's even do over here, so maybe I can get over to this area if I'm able to. Okay, and then just before I forget, not Tostini, Dampito, how's the rover doing? They're doing fine. Whew. Lots of discovery and things happening at the same time in parallel. So first of all, I have realized that the microphone wasn't recording, or it was, let's turn that down. I just had the wrong microphone recording, so hopefully it's going to sound better from this point on. So this rover is just made it down to this new area. This old blob, mostly sandstone, a little bit of phosphorite, coal in there, and sedimentary rock. Continue the process of just going down, down, and down, taking advantage of local sandstone just to reduce the amount of steps the rover needs to take. Do the digging at higher priority. So the last two sleetweed don't seem to be growing or getting cold enough, so I changed the setting here from 2 degrees to 1 degree. And hopefully that will do the trick. So those last two sleetweed will go over here, continuing to expand over on this area where I'm going to do some advanced research and create some diamond. So that's where the red bolts are going to go in. Now I want to have this area contained, so I'll have a mechanized airlock here. Eventually, I won't do this now, I'll wait till the area is constructed, but I'm going to have a suit station here. I'm going to have to be very careful about this. So essentially, when the dupes come into this area, they can take their suits off. But I don't want too many dupes to come in and get accumulation of suits over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell only 2 dupes can enter this area eventually, and that's going to be scientists and maybe one maybe operator that can run the I forget the name of it, the diamond press machines. But before I block any dupes from going in, let's do a little bit more of the construction first. So I found some graphite, and I can get the rover to actually dig it out. So that's awesome. Going to build a ladder up here. Should I go across or up? Go up. Mostly just exploring. Now there's more graphite here, rare material that I would love to get access to. But I can't I can't dig through lime, can't dig through fossil or granite. There's no granite right here, but between those two things, it's making it very difficult to actually access that graphite. But the main thing is just to build a ladder anyway. With that, I can get a suit, or a dupe that has a suit on, and then they can go down and do some mining for us. So digging this out, that's going to allow the rover to get access over here. And I'll see if there's any chance that if I can get any graphite from this section, or maybe I could break into that if I'm lucky. Only if I'm very lucky. I don't think that's going to happen. But just getting the ladder down. Oh, hold on. No, you're out of luck, Jared. It's not happening, I don't think. Anyway, it's still amazing stuff. So dupes are traveling in the homeworld, continuing to build this area. So just thought of using this tool to help me identify if I can get down here. In the process, I realized that there's some graphite sitting next to there. So 2 little pieces that I can grab. I don't know if the robot can put stuff in bins, but we'll test that out. Because if they can, I can get at least some graphite to be brought up. But other than that, I'm kind of running out of things for this rover to do. Maybe I'll just fully complete that ladder, but until I get some refined metal containers here and build a platform, or at least provide the material for platform, that might be it for this rover. And I don't know if I'll get that material in time. So where are we? We could send this rocket back again. All right, I'll think about that. And we are less than a cycle to finding out what this object is. So what I'm going to do, I get this area completed. I'm going to put in this. But I'm going to tell the dupes as soon as they create it, disable it. So they ignore it for now. Let's do that high priority so they build it, and I remember to do that. Very next thing to this is going to be material study terminal. I already have this set up. And this is going to go through, I believe, we'll need a NOT gate. So this thing sends a true signal when it's full, but I want essentially a true signal when it needs something. And then we can start to put in the diamond presses. Make sure I've got enough room for a rebel reflector. Copy that. Alright, I have to think about this. I think I actually have to push it over by 1 just to get the reflectors in there in the right way. Unless technically I'd be able, I'll change this a little bit. I'm going to actually have this go over here instead, like that. Ignore that plan dupe. We're changing it up a bit. And hopefully I don't need a ladder. I don't think I do, because this one, even though it touches 2 tiles, it has one that's only of height 4. And if I do that, let's get rid of that little thing, then I can get the red bolt reflectors. So essentially and then I'll need to have this like that. Suffocating, hold on, who is that? Okay, that looks good, but the suffocating thing yeah. Disable that building at high priority. Please, someone do that right now. Because operator's struggling. Oh, you're going to be struggling too. So operator, get out of there. Get out of there. That building's... That's what I wanted to avoid. I had already forgotten about it. Okay. Alright. Not the end of the world. I was here to manage that situation. Those 2 things are going to need some oxygen. So in Dampedo, the robot is able to pick up material, so picking up graphite, making a long journey up this ladder to deposit in this bin, just making it a little bit easier for the dupes to collect some of it. But a lot of it will still have to be mined out by the dupes later on. Making good progress over here. Be able to complete this room just by closing it like this. And then I'll actually didn't think, but I need to provide oxygen into here. Maybe do that right here, but don't want to do that just yet. Actually, Actually, I don't want to have it go after those. Maybe it's better to sort of share the oxygen in the suits versus the room. So this is the one pump and filter I have providing oxygen for all the suits. And it used to be this system here that was providing oxygen. That is starting to get pretty low as the last little bit of polluted water, drain down. So maybe I'll lower this to be 100. But I'm going to stop providing polluted water to oxygen system. So I need a new way now to collect oxygen better than just the one pump. So I'm going to have these two pumps do that. And I'm going to avoid having a normal filter for this. So I have this go through here. This is going to detect whether or not it senses oxygen. And if it is, it's going to send a true signal to this here. And then this is going to tell the pumps when to kind of cool down or stop sending too much. Maybe I'll have it at 50%. And the idea is if I don't get oxygen, perhaps a little bit of hydrogen, it'll leak out over here and do that high pressure. If I do get oxygen, it's going to go in here, and then I can send it down into the oxygen line, provide lots of oxygen for all the suits that need to be worn. So Dupe is parked out here, and they have 6 of 9 tiles, so 3 more. Not really a lot. Now, I think I should be able to push in 2. That's going to give me 7 to get back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 just in the atmosphere. But that's okay. I'll just use gravity to fall down. And then discovered this organic mass field. It is cycle 750. So now I've got this oxygen system, so that is pumping oxygen over here, scanning it. If it's not oxygen, it's going out here. Right now it's just pure oxygen. I'm going to now connect that. So I even have the logic, so I'm put 50-50 there, and that's just going to tell these pumps to turn off when it gets to that point, because I don't want to have happen is these pumps go off and just wastefully put oxygen out here. Might as well turn off if there's already enough oxygen in this. So now that can vent or push into here. Now I'm gonna have to change some things. I need a gas bridge, and there's maybe it's easier to do in this perspective. I'm gonna select that gas bridge, destroy that. Maybe I'll get rid of that one as well. So where is that going? Oh, that's just venting. No real point in that with the current system. Is there any suits down here? I'm just wondering if there's any point of this. This is just bypassing. That's essentially just. Oh, maybe hold on, Dupes, cancel. Keep that. That's part of the oxygen or polluted water to oxygen system. Let's just cut that separately. I've got a line going down there. Oh yeah, these never really get used. There is those things are there. Okay, so let's just ignore anything that's down. All I need to do is have this oxygen system provide oxygen over here. They'll need to provide oxygen here, but everything can be provided by going up. There we are. Now we're getting a lot more oxygen. It's going to help me fill up these things, and it'll make its way up here to go into the rocket, fill up the rockets, and fill up these 2 docks. Check if the Dupe is on there. Oh, whoa. Okay, hold on. What's going on with the map? Alright, so I might as well, since there's two unknown objects there, if I were to change the trajectory, go here instead, and if I did that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, can still make it back safely, but this way, in one cycle, I'll find out what two more things are before this rocket goes back. Just watching the last bit of the drywalling be installed here. That means that the dupes haven't provided these. Maybe I actually need to produce more. So I don't want to turn that on just yet. I see one right there. There's one lead suit. Produce at least one more. But I can enable this before I do that, though. I don't want the dupes to go in here and then not have anything they can breathe. So let's vent some oxygen in this area. Whoa, 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 whoa. Maybe we should do that. Whoops. Close that door. But what this is going to allow the dupes to... Okay, so 2 docking stations there. Now I can enable this. And with this enabled and oxygen provided in here, this is an area, so we still have to do construction, but this is an area the dupes can go out into. They could take their suits off after having gotten to their wearing the suits up to this point. Take it off. Scientists can do some research here. Operator, I'll just put those on forever. So I put a spot there for light. That ladder anymore, and almost have all this together. So oxygen is starting to vent out in this little new room. So 2 mining locations. I've got this one: glass, copper, iron ore, sand. Over here, rust, carbon dioxide. 2 very different resources located next to each other. Okay, now we can send this rocket back. It's not going to make it the full way, but it can go to the atmosphere, and I can use gravity to make it fall down. So rad bolt reflector. Okay, I was going to say this is being built, not quite. Almost. Okay, so we've got a little bit of an issue. I forgot to tell the dupes that only 2 of you are allowed in here. Now, these dupes are actually trapped. They want to get out here, and they have the idea they're not allowed unless there's these suits provided. So I'll click on them. That's fine. Oh, it's 2 dupes that are like behind each other, right? Oh yeah, the game's kind of visualizing that kind of oddly. So what I want to say is anyone that's in here is allowed out, but the only people that are dupes are allowed in is scientists and operator. From this point on, and then we should avoid this sort of conflict where they run out of suits and someone gets trapped on this side. And those 2 dupes should be dropping off 2 suits. Maybe I'll put one back there. So that should all now be back to normal. Alright, so I can actually have this pointing down instead of wasting red bolts, which is quite nice. This machine is operating. I'm only going to run one right now because the steam turbines, everything's cooled down. Steam turbines are waiting to turn back on. Actually, maybe I'll cancel that. You know what? I have an excess of hydrogen. Why don't I just ramp this up to 4? Steam turbines are eventually going to turn on, but that'll just lower my hydrogen level anyways. That's going to fire an awful lot of red bolts in here, which is good. That's what I want. Maybe what I'll do too is destroy this. Put a storage bin there for the input to these, which is compressed refined carbon. Okay, so we'll get a storage bin for that, but also a lamp. So whoever is doing that. nuts. That's not going to work right there because unfortunately I put that at this location. I'll just move this over by 1. It has been a very successful night in the world of Oxygen, not included. So I'm just watching Radbolts fire along, filling this rocket. It's going to fill up these rockets if there needs to be, as there is in the moment, before it gets directed down. But now I've got this new room, so I can continue material study terminal. And if I have any excess Radbolts, they'll go into here. Let's just make sure that I've got all these things pointed in the right way. So boom, this should be sending a true signal. It is, meaning that it's going to go in here when this is needed to be filled, and then it's going to go down in here. So if it's not the case, or if this is full, then Radbolts are going to go here. This is going to go down, and then it'll fill into one of these two things. I can finally put in my lamp, and I'll have a storage bin where I can put in some of that refined carbon. So what did I get done in this episode? So I've got this room here, as I'm just showed off. I have a new oxygen pump. This is essentially built next to this electrolyzer. And this is at 50%, so that's like just saying to the pumps, hey, cool down, don't run. A little bit of a cheaper pump, or a filter rather, than the one I had before. But the main thing is I've got 2 pumps. So it's going to fill a lot more oxygen. That's going to go all over the base to fill the different suits, stations, and this also requires oxygen as well as the rockets themselves. And the other thing is sleet wheat. I now have the full set of sleet wheat growing. The one that started first is at 47%. So perhaps in the next episode we'll see the first sleet wheat turn into more sleet wheat. And I can actually, maybe I've got tons and tons of natural gas here. I can get that down, we can create a kitchen, and we can actually have better recipes. So perhaps in the next episode we do that. I also would like to put a washroom here. I've got this washroom, but I want gold tiles, lights, the works, whereas this system is kind of, it does the job, but and bedroom. So I have several things I want to do that I didn't get to in this episode, but still, nonetheless, quite happy. Oh yeah, and I changed this. This is now made out of steel instead of gold amalgam. Much better things. Oh, I forgot to. Lots of things were done in this episode. I've got the inside of my third rocket. This one's blank, but that can be done at a later date. But on top of that, I've been discovering stuff in space. I sent several rockets out. I have this Meteoritio, which has those molefuls. Definitely would love to visit that. Tostini, that one is going to be tricky. I'll save that one for a little bit later. Some mining locations. There's still more to discover. And we sent a rover down here. We sent some refined metal down here. But we also sent a rover, and we have a gigantic ladder that goes from the top all the way down, and dug out a little bit of graphite, and that's being stored here at the top. And right now I just have just exploring if there was anything interesting over there. Doesn't look like it, just tons and tons of water. So I think I need to get some material for a engine or a rocket platform here to be able to land at this location, get a dupe out. They'll definitely need suits to protect themselves from the heat. 44 degrees, nothing super dangerous, but certainly not comfortable. Lots done, but yet lots to do. I'm going to end it here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all those that have subscribed, liked, and I will see you in a future episode. Until then.